Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action, and Bill Floaters here to welcome you today to this match between the Vampire Coast and the good old Green Skins. Another match submitted by Pharaoh O'War, one of his matches from the tournament this last weekend that I didn't get to cast personally. So we're going to have a look here. He's up against Black Phillip's Vampire Coast, and yeah, let's get right to it. So for the Greenskins, we've got Orc Biggins, Savage Orc Biggins, Black Orcs, and the same. Night Goblin Fanatics here. Bill Floater is going to give line of sight to Queen Bess, which is already fired up and over, and yep, targeting those Black Orcs. We've also got Bob Floater, the other Haunter here. We've got deckhand mobs with pole arms, some gunnery mobs as well with handguns. Nocti Boy leading the way. Meanwhile, for the Greenskins, a heavy vanguard, Durkat Squigs. We've got plenty of skirmish cav as well, mangy marauders, forest goblin spider riders, and more wolf riders. Let's see, it looks like Gabo Great Shaman having cast a Night Shroud to keep all these units hidden here as they advance. Many of them probably have stock anyway, yeah. Let's see, mostly Night Goblins, Night Goblin Archers with Fanatics. The Fanatics I find are very, very good in this matchup if you can use them right, but yeah, it looks like a zombie summon a little bit misplaced there, not actually going to catch these skirmish cav unfortunately, but it does look like they're shooting in at Queen Bess, trying to disrupt here. Gabo Great Shaman, of course, does have that Vindictive Glare as well, so he could pop that off. Let's see, he's actually got Vindictive Glare, Itchy Nuisance, Gorkle Fix-It, and Night Shroud, so yeah. You can see that Queen Bess still opening up shots, having done a ton of damage to those Fanatics in the front line. And, oh man, talk about terrible camera angle there. I pretty much missed it, but it didn't end up doing that much damage anyway. But you can see Nocti Boy firing at those Durkat Squigs who are coming in just purely on disruption. Squig Hoppers with their anti-infantry and everything will be able to do okay here, but very nice defensive position from Black Phillip in order to keep Queen Bess safe, at least for the time being. Going to start to open up shots on the Night Gobbo Archers here. Obviously, one good hit and you can pretty much take out a full unit of them, but ooh, that was solid, not amazing. But Queen Bess needs to get shut down as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the wall has been popped off. No surprises in the front line. Savage Orc Biggins, and Biggins is going to be cutting through zombies, no problem. You can see old Bill Floater going to be trying to push over and get involved. Meanwhile, Bob's over here on the other side. And yeah, summon zombies, more summon zombies in this backline here, trying to tie down these skirmishers, but Pharaoh doing a great job keeping his skirmishers secure. The issue is Queen Bess is still online, needs to get shut down as soon as possible, has been focus firing on her quite a bit, but yeah. Looks like more summon zombies here from Nocti Boy, this time the gunnery mob, and the zombies in the front line are crumbling away, leaving this Morgul to fight Savage Orc Biggins alone, which is really not great for that Morgul. They would tear this guy to shreds, no questions about that. Looks like the Noctilus Bombardment going to be going down on these mangy marauders here, and you can see that the unit model for Queen Bess is now destroyed, so Gobbo Great Shaman going to start popping that sweet Vindictive Glare on Count Noctilus. Of course, we know from my testing video that that's going to be a very effective use of that spell, but we'll see. We've still got plenty of zombies online here. Durkat Squigs pulling away here before they rout off, and now the skirmish cav just going to be free to fire in at zombies, Noctilus, you know, any kind of targets they choose it to. Bill and Bob are both kind of unified, fighting on top of the Black Orcs right now. Black Orcs thankfully immune to psychology, but are they actually crumbling? No, their leadership is perfectly fine. The zombies, though, are crumbling. We've got more summoned zombies in this backline here, and this big blob is just asking for, oh, what's the Vortex spell called? Oh, man. Curse the Bad Moon. It doesn't do that much damage, but to a big, slow blob like this, it would do a ton of damage. You could rack up a ton of kills. Unfortunately, Pharaoh didn't actually bring that spell, but still, Skirmisher's getting some really good Overwatch fire into Noctilus here. He's got a Scroll of Leeching on him as well from the Gabo Great Shaman, so yeah, really good work being done by Pharaoh at this point. Balance power is slightly in the Vampire Coast's favor, though. Still quite a few high-value units left on the field, and all these zombie handguns still being perfectly healthy, despite the fact many of them have been caught. Unfortunately, just not able to capitalize fully there. And yeah, another point-blank Vindictive Glare, and Noctilus taking a ton of damage at this point does do the zombie poop someone, which is at least going to bog down these Biggins for a time here, but not really help much against the missile fire there. Meanwhile, Gabo Great Shaman fighting in melee against zombies, trying to recharge the Wa, it looks like. He's perfectly happy to fight zombies in melee, especially zombie handgunners, which really have just terrible combat stats. You can see the Night Goblins also in here, getting some good work done. So things are looking pretty decent for the Greenskins at this point. If you can finish off Count Noctilus and start a lot of these units to crumbling. A very nice play by the Spider Riders as well, compromising the handgun mobs there, trying to keep them from getting online. The two Haunters are a bit of an issue at this point, but if he can isolate them and perhaps drag down their leadership, another very nice Vindictive Glare on Nocti Boy there. Some regrouped units here can come in and try and finish him off as well. And yeah, looks like the Mangy Marauders are coming back. They, of course, have their AP missiles, so they should be able to fire in here and get some good work done on Noctilus. The Savage Orc Biggins and the AP Cloonies and so on ganging up on this Haunter here. I believe this is Bill. Bill's taking a ton of damage here, which is definitely beneficial for the Greenskins. Again, the leadership is really going to be an issue here for both sides, depending on who loses their general first. And of course, the Gabo Great Shaman pretty much completely healthy at this point, not really being threatened at all. But yeah, the Haunter getting into these Night Goblin Archers is definitely not great. That being said, the zombies are kind of getting tangled up. Orcs regrouping and coming in here. Nocti Boy standing right on top of his zombies, firing point blank in. But we'll see. Mangy Marauder still getting some good Overwatch fire. Not quite enough to finish off old Nocti Boy at this point. But the Gabo Great Shaman still trolling around in the back line. Again, nothing really can catch him that the Vampire Coast have on the field. So he's perfectly happy to sit back, pop that what's it called? Vindictive Glare. Try and finish off Noctilus here. So we'll see. Currently a very, very close fight. Anybody's game. But looks like these Gabo Archers going to try and form up and get some work done on the Haunter. Again, the Haunters do have missile resistance, and trying to run away from them is super hard because they have that chilling aura. So, yeah, it's a rough situation for sure. But a very nice Vindictive Glare there, tagging Count Noctilus. He's down to about 1200 HP there, and just really not in the best situation. The Orcs in the front line, though, are getting a little bit worn down here. You can see the Biggins and the Savage Orc Biggins are low enough to be terrified away by the Haunters, which do, of course, cause terror. So a bit of an issue there. But regrouped Rusty Arrows from the far side, sundering the armor of Noctilus, so he's down to only 45 armor. Let's see. Gabo Great Shaman honestly might even just charge in at this point and try and finish him off in melee. You can see the polearms thinking about that, kind of hanging around here. The zombies also firing in at the orcs here as well, but yep, Gabo Great Shaman comes in, gets a few tags on the ankles here. Noctilus is going to force path through his own units here, but that is going to bring him back into range of these Goblin Archers over on the far side, who still have full 64 unit models. So this volume of fire right here might be enough to finish off Noctilus. He's down to only about 1000 HP. One more Overcast Vindictive Glare at this point could probably finish him off. It'd be pretty close, but down to now only 852, and his leadership is still holding out, at least for the moment. So we'll see. Super close battle at this point. You can see the Greenskins are having leadership issues, though. Thankfully, the AP Cloonies, Unbreakable, able to kind of hold the line here for just a moment. Definitely recommend bringing them against any of the Undeath factions. Yeah, that Unbreakable is just super, super useful. And is this the end? Oh, man. Oh, and Noctilus goes down to the Vindictive Glare. That being said, the balance power is still in the Vampire Coast's favor. The two Haunters, of course, do count as heroic units. I don't think they actually have Encourage, do they? I'm trying to see here. No, it doesn't look like they actually have Encourage, but still they'll be able to kind of stabilize a little bit here. They themselves are both pretty healthy as well, and you can see the terror issues for the Greenskins are becoming very, very real in this late game situation. Zombies crumbling away left and right, but the Haunter is still just about completely healthy, so it just remains to be seen. You know, if Pharaoh can spread out his forces, crumble away the rest of the zombies, and isolate the Haunters, he might be able to take them down. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to definitely be tough. You can see them kind of just creepily crawling towards the Gabo Great Shaman. They understand that if they can get a hold of him, they'll be able to finish off the leadership of this army. But you can see the zombie handguns there also crumbling away. And yeah, the Haunters. This Haunter, good old Bill Floater getting very, very low. Bob is still almost completely healthy, but certainly taking a little bit of damage there in melee. Wolf Rider archers, unfortunately, just with their terrible leadership, are going to be terrified away. The Waaagh being popped. Maybe this Gobbo Great Shaman should go ahead and turn around and just try and pop this Hunter real quick, but Haunter, that is, not Hunter. But yeah, these orcs are going to go ahead and get engaged by the zombie polearms here, and it's going to be super tight. It's going to be super tight. That Waaagh might have been mistimed a little bit in this late game situation here, but we'll see. Doesn't look like a lot of units were in melee for a lot of the duration of that, but we do still have Night Goblin archers here online. These zombies are just about finished off, and the Gobbo Great Shaman does charge in. He does take a hit there, but if he can finish off, in a nasty cast of the 8-Peak Loonies fanatics there to try and finish off those gunnery mobs. So you can see Bill Floater, barely any HP left online, but the damage done to the Night Gobbo Shaman did put the balance of power pretty significantly in the Vampire Coast's favor. So we're going to watch a little bit longer here as Pharaoh tries to pull this out. A cast of fanatics from the archers here are going to cut through these zombies and do quite a bit of damage. Take down a few unit models there and do a bit of leadership damage as well. You can see that unit is crumbling, so if that unit crumbles away, the balance power will come back a little bit more towards the center here. And yeah, we're going to continue to fast forward slightly through this late game as the Gobbos do rout, unfortunately, that group of archers. This other group of archers is back, though, and we'll see. This Haunter taking a little bit of fire. It's not a whole lot, but Night Goblin Fanatics and some Orc Biggins. Oh man, and one more Vindictive Glare here. Does a ton of damage to that Haunter. Actually sends him into crumbling, so that Haunter's probably offline. And the Gobbo Great Shaman going to try and get in on a rear charge on this other one. So we'll see. If that other Haunter gets finished off before he can get in here and get any work done, maybe the Greenskins could bring this back, but the Biggins get terrified away. Those deckhand mobs are still online as well, and the Gobbo Great Shaman comes in to try and finish off this other Haunter, but he takes a couple of nasty hits from the two together, and that is going to finish off the leadership for the Greenskins. So a very, very close finish. A super fun battle. Big thanks to Pharaoh for submitting that one. And yeah, super, super close finish. I honestly think that if Pharaoh had maybe, instead of bringing Night Shroud, if he had cut that and, you know, just cut maybe some other spells as well and just keep spamming that Vindictive Glare as much as possible, even just having a little bit more Winds of Magic in the late game for like 2 more Vindictive Glares could have maybe finished off those Mourngul Haunters in the late game. It's tough to say, but nonetheless, the Gobbo Great Shaman doing a great job taking down Noctilus at the very least. You can see Orcs just racking up the kills here. 341 on these Biggins, 219 on the Savages, 234 on these Savages, 157 on these Biggins. Even the Gobbos, 124 on the 8-Peak Loonies. Definitely cleaning up zombies left and right. 44 on these Night Gobbos, not bad at all. Black Orcs only got 60 kills. Unfortunately, they were a little bit of a magnet for Queen Bess there, who did manage to get 87 kills. So, yeah, pretty decent. The zombies, again, there was that one point where if Pharaoh had the Vortex ability there, the Curse the Bad Moon, he could have bunker busted that huge blob of zombie gunners, and that would have done a ton of damage to the balance of power. It doesn't do the most damage. It does more than it used to, though, and certainly I would recommend, if you're running the Gobbo Great Shaman, if you want to go just a pure damage build, Sneaky Stabbin' is almost always worth taking just because it's so cheap, but I would cut Itchy Nuisance. You don't really need to debuff the zombies' combat stats too much. Gork'll Fix It, same thing. You don't really need to slow down the Vampire Coast much. Night Shroud can be useful in these situations, but I would go ahead and cut it. And so I'd probably bring this kit here, Curse the Bad Moon, Vindictive Glare, and Sneaky Stabbin'. Honestly, in a lot of matchups, I might even, if I'm really trying to optimize cost as much as possible, I might just bring Vindictive Glare and just spam that over and over to go after large terror-causing units, because pretty much everyone's going to bring something that causes terror against the Greenskins because it's such a good mechanic. Greenskins have low leadership, so it just makes sense, right? So if you have the Vindictive Glare, you can go after those monsters. If they do choose to bring ethereal units, you can blast them a little bit with that, but just in case as insurance, you can bring this Curse the Bad Moon as well. Doesn't do the most damage, but it also applies a pretty decent debuff as well, debuffing speed, armor, and melee defense. So on a big unit of zombies like that, you can not only do a ton of damage, but also lower their stats even more and just allow your units to cut through even faster. So still a very fun battle, though, well well played to both players. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.